Alrighty, so let's do a little review at first. We know 6 times 100. We could think about that as 6 times 1 equals 6. But we know those two zeros make that 6 move over 2 place values. So we have to add those two zeros onto our 6, which would give us 600. Let's try another one similar to that, but it's a little bit different. We have 6 times 400. Now this is going to be done the exact same way we do 6 times 100. So we know 6 times 4 equals 24. But we can't forget those two zeros. We have to add those on to move it up 2 place values. So when we add those on to our 24, that gives us 2,400. Let's try one more like that. So if we have 3 times 5,000, well, first off, we know 3 times 5 equals 15. But there are 3 zeros that we need to add on to that 15 to make it move up 3 place values. When we do that, that gives us 15,000. Now, grab out your whiteboards and markers and write down 6 times 20. And I want you to try to solve it. Then we'll check our answer. All right, if you're not ready to check your answer, just pause this and then press play once you're ready. So I'm going to scoot that on over to the side. I know first thing first, I need to go 6 times 2 equals 12. If you got that right, give yourself a little cheer. But I know that I have 1 0, which makes it move up 1 place value. So I'm just going to add that 0 on to the end of our 12 that we got from 6 times 2 to give you 120. If you got 120, give yourself a big old cheer. Good job, erase your board and let's try another one. Now try 6 times 500 and then we'll check our answer. Alrighty, if you're not ready, pause this, but we're going to go ahead and check. So first thing first, I know 6 times 5 is 30. But I need to add 2 more zeros onto that because of the zeros in 500 will move it up 2 place values, which will give me 3,000. Now the silly mistake I see students make a lot for this is that they look at 30 and 50 and they're like, oh, it just needs 2 zeros. So they got the answer 300. But the silly mistake they made was that they need to add on 2 more zeros to that answer to move it up 2 more place values. It's not just that it needs to have 2 zeros in the end because it's times 500. It needs to add on 2 more zeros. So make sure you don't make that silly mistake. Alrighty, let's try another one. You have 4,000 times 7. So go ahead and erase your board and write this down and try it out. All right, if you're not ready, go ahead and pause this. But I'm going to go ahead and start solving. So, first off, I know 4 times 7 equals 28. But I need to add 3 more zeros onto that 28 to move it up 3 place values. So when I add 3 more zeros onto the back of that, that gives me 28,000. Let's try one more erase. Let's try this one. Write down 80 times 5. Alrighty, let's go ahead and solve it. I know that 8 times 5 is 40. But I need to add 1 more zero onto that because of the 0 in 80 is like doing 8 times 10. So we have to move it up 1 place value. So when I did that, I got 400. Now, if you said that 40 was your final answer, the silly mistake you made was that you saw in 80 times 5 that there's only 1 0, so you thought it only had to have 1 0 in the answer. But don't get tricked by that. That means you need to add on 1 more 0 to your answer to make it 400. All right, let's try another. Erase your boards, write down 9 times 9,000. Okay, and if you're not ready, go ahead and pause this. First thing, we are going to start off with 9 times 9. I know that 9 times 9 is 81. I know that 9,000 has 3 more zeros on it, so I need to move this up 3 place values, adding those zeros on to the end of 81, making it 81,000. If you got that, give yourself a pat on the back. Good job.